with Rhonda and Cynthia, and today we are talking about taking out the trash. I don't know if you got my drift last week, but this month has been a doozy. This month has been a doozy. I have been through the ringer, and I'm just glad that I have friends who are experiencing some of the same craziness that I have been.
Mm.
And yeah, so we got to talking last week. Actually, already a couple weeks ago, we got to talking about some of the craziness that we've been dealing with, some of which are crazy people, but some of which are just like crazy tech issues or, things like that. And we finally said, you know what? I think we just need to like take out the trash, like just get rid of the clutter so that we can focus on the essentials. And maybe it's not even just a June thing. Maybe it's been a like 2023 thing because I know that you kicked off this year, Rhonda, with like clearing out the clutter in your life. And it's been helping you. You were talking about how light you felt. So maybe you want to pick up from this
Mhm.
point. What do you think,
Yes,
Rhonda?
and I'm taking it a step further. I am finally finishing painting the cabinets in my kitchen. And I want you to know, I
Yeah.
mean, as soon as I put the color up, I'm just doing I don't have the cabinet covers done yet, but
Uh-huh.
as soon as I started putting the color up, I felt like the energy just expanded in the room. I felt
Yeah.
so much I felt it felt bright.
Yes.
Because I still have flooring I wanna put in. And talk about cleaning out the clutter. I bought the original paint back in 2019, and I'm like lately I need to finish that this year, get the top part.
Uh-huh.
And, so I pulled the paints out and I looked down at the date and I'm there, "Wait a minute, this is 2023. Where did the time go?" Um, and as I'm removing and it's funny because as I'm removing I went down to the paint the next day, I took it down to Home Depot and just asked them to shake it for me,
Yeah.
shake it up,
Yeah, yeah.
because one of the cans hasn't even been opened yet.
Mhm.
Um, so I did that and I started just putting up the base. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the whole room feels different. And it was white. I'm
Uh-huh.
there. Well, there you go. I'm going to do white on the top
Yeah.
because the bottom cabinets are black
Oh,
and I
okay.
love them.
Uh-huh.
But I have all of a sudden been seeing the black white combo popping up. And they're, yeah, I wonder what that's going to look like. So I thought I'd experiment. As soon as I put that up, I realized I have to go white on the top.
Yeah.
And I could feel it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it myself.
Yeah.
And I noticed how I felt when I'm like, pow,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yes.
So, and then the other paint is going to be that I already had is for the wall.
Uh-huh.
So, I went back to Bear and I looked at the color combinations and on there, which shade of white goes best with this combination, found it.
Mhm.
And it wasn't much different than the sample I had that I tested. And there, okay, there we go. And so I can't wait
Mhm.
because with the white cabinets on top, if I want to stencil it, I can.
Mhm.
And they, oh, I could stencil this.
That's really cool.
Yeah, did I tell you about the art class workshop I participated in?
No.
Oh my
I wanna
gosh.
interrupt you for one really hot second
Yeah.
because I
Yes.
think that this is a result of your taking out the trash earlier this year, right? Like, you're getting
Yes,
inspiration to, like, try this and do something different. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, go on. Tell me about your art
Yes.
class.
And as I took the cabinet covers off, I'm looking at I'm there. Oh, while I'm painting, I can just start taking stuff out of here that I don't need.
Need.
What do I need that for? Oh yeah, it has totally. There's a total correlation there.
Yeah.
Total. I just I mean, if I hadn't experienced it, it would have been hard to imagine.
Yes. Yes.
It would have been hard to imagine.
So tell me about your stenciling in your art class.
Well, the canals, I live near the right a mile and a half from the Erie Canal.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and it expands the whole gamut of New York State.
Uh-huh.
And in the old days, it was just dug up by it's man made,
Yeah.
but they've kept it. And so what the Canal Corporation does every year is they pay for workshops and classes and kayaking and all kinds of activities that
Mhm.
go along the canal,
Mhm.
and you can sign up for stuff.
Mhm.
Of course, the it's limited how many people can get in there because they go pretty fast.
Mhm.
I got the last seat in a painting workshop. It was an intuitive painting workshop.
Oh, cool. Really cool.
And I loved how they had this little meditation beforehand, and just to try to get you relaxed and creative. And the gal that runs it, I'm having a blank moment, but she was such a great coach, and she said, what you're doing, because I just started doing stuff,
Mhm.
and I knew exactly what colors I wanted to use.
Mhm.
And I started with a hot pink magenta,
That's
and
your color.
I love that
That's
color.
your color.
Yeah. And then bright blues, and thank you for that. Just I've really been attracted to the magenta and blues and
Mhm.
greens. Those are like my three
Mhm.
favorites. So it was just amazing because I just started doing stuff, and she goes, oh, have you used your spray bottles yet? And they're, what? Oh, just spray it. And she goes, this will not look anything like what you see right now when you're done.
Uh-huh.
So, and then at the end, I had all the background. I'm like, it needs something else. So I put she had some stencils. And ooh, I want to use that metallic blue for the stencil.
Uh-huh.
And so there was my creation. I was going to, and she's told us you don't put it straight in the middle. You have to offset it. And she was just a great
Yeah.
coach. And so I had my creation. I don't know if I have it readily available. I could share it with you if you want to see it,
Sure. Well,
but I'll need to stop talking for a minute before I do that.
okay, then
To do that,
I'll just start talking because I'm
yes.
very inspired by your story and our topic today because, I had this weird urge over this weekend and, taking out the trash is something that I had been chatting with my friends about all
Mhm.
month. And over this weekend, while I was doing, some administrative things and getting ready for next month, I had this strange urge to go into the basement. There's one box that, like, I haven't touched in the 10 years that I've lived here. And I said to myself, you need to look at what's in that box because you haven't looked at what's in that box in 10 years
Yeah.
and you could probably just throw everything away. And so I went down to the basement and I looked through that box and I confirmed that pretty much everything except for some tax returns that I had stowed in there, I could just throw away
Uh-huh.
right on the spot. And as for the tax returns, I might be able to throw those away too, but I'm going to reach out to my accountant who's back in the States and just ask her if she has them scanned because I think she's been going to a paperless system. And so those are from before she went paperless. And so I'm going to ask her, have you
Uh-huh.
scanned these? Because if she has, then I really can throw them away. So I feel so much lighter. I got rid of a bunch of stuff on Tuesday. I went to the recycling depot and they said you could throw all of this paperwork here, these binders, you can throw them away over here. You've got to break them apart so that the metal goes in the metal and the cardboard goes into the cardboard. And I felt so great on my way back. And I got to tell you, since then, I've been like attracting these creative ideas. Um,
Cool.
yeah, and actually another thing I did on Monday and Tuesday is I cleaned up my desktop at home. And by desktop, I mean my virtual computer desktop. It probably had like 100 different files and folders on it. And I sorted through all of it. There's only 3 left. I still have to make a decision about those, one of which is an app.
Mhm.
And that's it. It's the cleanest I've seen it in more than 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, so I'm fully aligning with your story. I can understand how you just like attracted this art class and how you could, let loose and enjoy yourself and I don't know, like stumble on these opportunities.
It
So
was
I'm
something
I'm
else.
really here to
And I just want, I
yeah.
just want to let go. And
Yes.
you're right. It all started with decluttering. I
Yes.
don't remember.
Yes.
I have it on my cell phone. I don't have it on,
Okay.
but yeah, it all started with that. Um,
Yeah. And and I think like when you release like that extra baggage, that you're able to kind of see the world around you with a new
mhm,
lens.
yeah.
So, you stumble on those opportunities like the one you did along the canal of this art class. And one of my friends actually, she's looking to move to another continent and she's been on a bit of a declutter thing as well, and we're taking out the trash kick as well. And what she's noticed is that her relationships with people are starting to sort themselves out. And I say sort themselves out because it's almost like not of her doing, except for the fact that she has, like decluttered some of the noise that was associated in those relationships. And some of those relationships are resulting in people offering to forward her resume to, this person on, in Asia who might be able to help. And all opportunities that she really wouldn't have thought about had she not just started to declutter, like physically and also mentally. So,
That's pretty
yeah.
amazing. Um,
Yeah.
I found the picture. I just have to figure out how to share it here. Hang on,
Mm-mm-mm.
but I'll
Um,
add it to
you
my
could hold it
drive.
up to the screen.
Um, Sorry, I wasn't prepared to show that
I'm sorry.
today.
I put
Um,
you on the spot, but I would love to see. Do you want to hold up your phone or?
well, hang on. I'm just trying to get. Well, I can do that instead. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
Oh, that is so cool. And I can see how that electric blue uh that electric blue, it's like a cogwheel type thing.
Yeah,
Um
and
it's
it was like almost like a medallion. The stencil
yeah,
was like
that's
a
a better word for
medallion.
it.
And then, so I put it on there, and she goes, "Now you have to blend the medallion into the photo." So
Uh-huh.
then I just started doing stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and
Looks like you had fun. And you were doing all of this outdoors too, right?
yeah, it was underneath a gazebo right on the canal. It was so
That's
cool.
so cool.
Yeah. So let's see if I
That
can get
really
a
is.
decent picture of that. That didn't really do it justice. So let's see. Uh, anyway, but yeah, thank you. I did post to Facebook. I posted, and I think I posted it on Cooler Talk somewhere. Um,
Uh-huh.
but we have been having trouble linking to Cooler Talk. I don't
On
know why. I
Facebook.
have to take some time. I'm in the middle of painting, and I have too many other things going to.
That's and you know what? That's more important. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna like knock what people do,
yeah.
in their day to day, but it's very easy to get stuck in a routine with social media and with digital this or whatever. And that's fine. It has its purpose, but sometimes you do need to like shake out of the rut in order to experience the possibilities of life.
I have to agree with you. And I have been spending way too much time on on the internet, and I'm like, I have to start getting back involved in life again.
Yeah. And taking out the trash is a great first step. In fact, it kind of like creates that vacuum for, life to kind of insinuate its way, you know.
Yes, yes. And I don't know what's going on with my brain lately, but I'm having trouble finding anything. I know I have it put somewhere, but like I come up with these files and I'm like, where's the file?
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons
I'm
why
too cluttered.
yeah, well, but I also think that's one of the reasons why I would keep things on my desktop or keep things in a box
Yeah.
because I have experienced that, right after you clean something up, then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, where's that photo that I just saw? It used to be in that box, but I moved it to somewhere else."
Yes. It,
You know?
I'm driving. Yes. I totally connect. I found it. I have it up. All I have to do is share the page.
Yes,
Um,
please. Or share your
and
screen.
let's do this here. Yeah. So let's get that first. I haven't shared a screen in a while, so I forgot how to do it.
Well, underneath the screen, there's a microphone, a camera, and then there's a
Ah,
thing called share
that's
screen.
it. I don't remember what these
Icons, I
icons
know.
mean for crying out loud. Okay. Here it is. Okay. There it is. You see it?
Oh, that's cool. Yes.
And
Yes, but zoom in if you can so that we can really see the picture. There's a little zoom plus button at the bottom of the screen.
oh, I see it.
That one. Yeah.
Oop.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I'm having trouble uh, moving
Can you
the
put your hand
screen.
on it and
There.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's cool.
So
It looks
when I started it, it was sideways. So on the right side, you can see where the water dripped down. And I decided to
mhm.
leave that little section there because it gave it some movement.
Yeah.
And I literally was just do originally when I started, it was just strokes of colors. And then I put something. Then she said, add another color. So I added yellow, thinking of the sun. So that's where the yellow came from. And then spraying the water on those colors, everything just started blending in together.
Mhm.
Um, and then she said, add another color. And I did the green and then the blues. Um, and so at the end, I'm like, oh, okay. um, so I finished, finished with the background. And then she suggested the stencil. And so this was a new stencil that she had. And I just plopped it on top of all the other colors on top and
Mhm.
just got that metallic blue and just started blotting it on the stencil. And this is what came out. So
Mm.
she said, are you guys sure you're finished with it? And then when she said blended, I just started with the what paint was wet already. I just started moving it out and blending it in with the screen. And
Yeah.
then she said something else, and then I'm there. Oh, it does need something else. So I got the magenta out and just started with
Uh-huh.
those little magenta lines.
Yeah.
And it started out. This is the vertical view, but it started out horizontal, and then we turned it. So it was really great the way she guided us through this
Mhm.
painting. Now, and now I'll tell you something that is really weird, and I didn't notice it till later because I put this on my wall in the stairwell because I have a yellow wall in that stairwell. And it
Mhm.
doesn't look anything like it does when it's out in the sunlight, of course. But if you look at this and you just scan the bottom below the medallion, tell me if you see something.
I can't say I do, but it's pretty small on my screen. I'm on my
Oh,
small
okay.
screen today. But I'm loving it. I see, like, this big kind of dandelion-shaped,
Yeah,
energy orb.
that's what a couple of my friends said, and they're artists. And one of them
Uh-huh.
said that's exact that she said the dandelion. And another person responded and said home planet.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of great energy. It's a very, like, positive energy. It
Yeah.
even has, like, a little multidimensionality to it.
Yes.
It kind of looks a little bit 3D. Um, and the way that the medallion is, you've got this kind of star shape in the middle, and that really does look like it's inside a sphere.
Yes.
Um, it's really a lovely painting.
Well, thank you. And I loved the feedback I got. I was just excited that I actually created something. And
Yeah.
then that's the feedback I got. The first one was the bright, happy dandelion. And then another person just said joyful cheer, and
Mhm.
another person gave me some feedback and said home planet.
Home
So
planet. It's lovely.
thank you for letting me share that. And I should have wish I had her information in front of me to do a plug for the artists and the person that has the works that did the workshop. Um, but I had it was interesting. I just cleared my whole head out and just said,
Yes.
"Stop! Don't think. Stop thinking. Just do."
And you in fact, it was probably easier for you to do that with a lighter head in the first
Yeah,
place, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then being next to the water and under the gazebo, we were worried about rain that day, but it held off. It
Mhm.
was very overcast, but the whole environment, I wanted to get into her workshop. That was like 40 minutes away where I had to drive along another canal town and
Mhm.
because the one locally here is booked. But I'm going to send
Mhm.
her a private email. She said that people actually didn't show up, which really disappointed me because
Yeah.
when people do that, what they do is they deny someone else who wants to participate the
Right.
chance to do that instead of
Yeah.
canceling, saying if they're not going to go, instead of canceling.
Yep.
New York Canal Corporation sponsors this every year. And so I'm going to go over to the other direction in a couple weeks and do a pencil art in a museum.
Nice.
It's the Wildlife Preservation Museum. So I got that, and then I was able to get a hiking tour in the Montezuma Wildlife Preserve, which I've done before by car. The boat one,
Uh-huh.
they had a boat ride through there, but that was all booked. I wasn't thinking when this first came out to start signing up for all this stuff. And then I'm
Very
going back
nice.
the other direction. I missed out on a kayak trip because I procrastinated,
Mhm.
but I did get something over. I went all the way to from Buffalo to Syracuse, over to Albany, all sections, everything along the canal. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great way to explore the state,
And this all
you know.
started with decluttering. It just opened me up, like you said.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm so glad it did because it's very easy to get stuck behind in front of your computer screen or on your cell phone looking at stuff and hours.
Or just a routine.
Yes.
Just a routine. I mean, it could include your phone, but it could really just include any
Yeah.
routine, that like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge. And actually maybe if there's something to test, and I think it's a small test, if you want to see how fast you can manifest and really like bring something like positive and light into your life, how quickly you can do it, start by decluttering. If you're wondering like, how am I going to make things better for myself, or how am I going to, it doesn't matter, like just start decluttering
Hmm.
anything and entering in that like, you know, may or may not
Hmm.
directly impact what it is that you want, but the point
It's
is
all indirect.
it's
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 all indirect.
and it's
Yeah.
also it's direct in that it impacts you. You're
Hmm.
the one who sees your life with a fresh set of eyes. It's
Hmm.
those courses were probably, always there, but you were able to see it and, pounce on a few, thanks to sort of this clear way of thinking, seeing. This is
It's
awesome.
amazing.
I've got goosebumps, and I love your art.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Really nice treat to have in your staircase. Well, unless you have any final words for us, Rhonda, I think it is the top of the hour.
I think it is. I think it is. Thank you
Tis.
all for watching. We appreciate you so, so
Yes, I
much.
do.
And we're so glad that you joined us today. I'll get this Facebook connection figured out sooner or later,
Sure.
whenever.
When it happens.
I'm not spending as much time in front of my computer these days.
No, yes. If you end up painting more art, then the world is a better place for it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Take it easy,
Thanks.
everybody.
See you next week.